All right, how's everybody doing out there today? Hope everybody's having a great day. Today's video is going to be a little story on how being 2 hours late on a delivery cost me $3,000. I'm basing that on lost revenue. I'm not even counting the extra 2 days I had to babysit a frozen food load, with reefer fuel and all that good stuff. So the story kind of starts out, for the past couple weeks, my truck's been in the shop having a lot of things done. I had a new front cover and seal put on, and they got to do the oil pan with that. So the way that worked out was they forgot to put an oil pan bolt in. So I wake up the next morning after I get the truck out of the shop. I get cruising down the road, and I park overnight. I get up the next morning, go to do my pre-trip. I notice a puddle of oil under the truck. I pop the hood, and the whole engine's just covered in oil. And that is not what you want to see when you just got done, being 3 weeks in the shop with a $6,000 repair bill coming out on you. So I took it to the nearest Freightliner dealer down the road. I was about a day early on this load because what happened was, it was picked up on a Saturday, so I just had some extra time in there. So I'd rushed down. I was going to try to be there as early as possible. Got to the Freightliner dealer, and I got there at about 9 in the morning, the second repair facility. Got there about 9 in the morning. They didn't get the truck pulled in until about 3 p.m. And my appointment was 3 p.m. the next day, about 400 miles away. So they got the truck in. They steam cleaned all the oil off the engine, and they found out where my oil leak was. Apparently, when I had my front cover and front cover seal put on, they left an oil pan bolt out in that situation. So they put a new oil pan bolt in for me, but by the time they got this done, it was already the next morning. So I had to stay in a hotel. I said, well, it's super close. I thought maybe I could be maybe 30 minutes late if I really hustled to Lineage. It was just not meant to be. I had like a 30-minute backup when I got down around Chattanooga. And then that put me, so at that point I was going to be about an hour late. And then I started into Atlanta, and I had a 45-minute backup there. And then, that put me in Atlanta at afternoon rush hour. I ended up showing up at Lineage about 2 hours and 5 minutes late. I was very willing to pay a late fee because, it was just stuff that was out of my control. But I understand, if I got to pay the late fee, that's just the cost of doing business. Lineage said, there's no option on a late fee. There's no option on a work-in. You have to get this rescheduled. And I was just bummed at that point. So I left Lineage. I went to the truck stop. I parked. I called everybody I could call. No response. Woke up the next morning, let everybody know what was going on. Waited all day at the truck stop. Didn't hear anything back. So finally, at about 4 in the afternoon, I said, I'm going to run it over to Lineage again and just to see if they'll take it this time. And that was a waste of time. Went over there, did that, and they basically told me, call and get a new appointment. That's the only way you can do this. So the way it works is the broker has to go through the customer to get Lineage to get me a new appointment time. So I'm dealing like 3 parties of people trying to get them to push this through. So I wasted 1 day just sitting there on that. Then the next morning, woke up, started it all over again. Finally, they got me an appointment at 9:30 that day. So way that worked out was I lost over 2 days on this load waiting on a new appointment time. Brutal. That's where I get the $3,000 from. I know I could probably easily had grossed $3,000 in 2 days of running. It's just absolute loss. Not to mention the extra reefer fuel. The extra reefer fuel that I had to spend. Babysitting a negative 10-degree load, just sitting here all day. That's rough on reefer fuel when you're sitting in Georgia. It's about 75 degrees out. It's been sunny the last couple days that I was sitting there with that load. So not a fun experience. But at the same time, I could have just came on with it, but there was so much oil on everything that it appeared in that 600 miles with that oil pan bolt missing, I had lost about somewhere between a half a gallon, a quart and a half a gallon of oil is how low I was on the dipstick. So I didn't know, like, you know, I didn't know if it was progressively getting worse or what the situation was. So I didn't want to just, you know, continue to push it. Not to mention, I was going to be going through Tennessee and Georgia, you know, with the hills, and I didn't want to be stressing the engine if it's blowing oil out. So, you know, I stopped and did the best I could with it. It's just one of those things where, you know, I lost 2 complete days of running because of rescheduling issues. I guess finally the second day they took it a little bit more serious and pushed it through. They could have probably got this done the first day, but like I say, when you're dealing with 3 different parties, you know, I talked to the broker, they've got to talk to the customer, and then the customer's got to talk to Lineage. So the moral of the story is don't be late. But you know, when I woke up and I seen that big puddle of oil, you know, my truck's not worth 1 load. You know, my truck's not worth, the engine's not, you know, like, I'm not going to lose an engine over, you know, 2 days, honestly. I did what I had to do, but that's the story of this load I just got done doing. 2 days lost on that. So this load took what should have been a 2-day load, was already scheduled to be a 3-day load, and then I lost 2 more. So I got 5 days in on this load. Luckily, it was a good paying load, so I did make some profit on it. But just keep that in mind, guys. If you can take the truck and run it and get the load delivered, that's the way to do it. That's what I normally do. But you know, seeing that much oil on the ground, you know, and like I said, I didn't know if it had just happened in the last hour or if it had been doing that all day, you know. So that's just a little bit of reefer advice for you, and that is one of the downsides of reefer as well. You know, I like reefer. I'll continue to do reefer, but appointment times can be a beast. You know, it's just something to consider if you're thinking about which part of trucking you want to go into. You know, just do know that some of these cold storages and refrigerated and, you know, frozen warehouses, they are not easy to reschedule loads into. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope everybody takes a little something away from this, because it definitely cost me a little bit. So I hope pushing that information onto you helps. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And take care of each other out there. Later.